expecting she's expecting you to do one thing, but ended up beating her expectations. And how do you do this? Okay, now this how do you do this? So now this is not a three-part series. I don't know what's wrong with the internet today. This is 3:49 a.m. Okay, I would expect the internet providers to do a better job, especially. Now we have a three-part series. I mean, I would expect the yeah, a three-part series. Okay, for a 1 hour broadcast. You can imagine. I expect the internet providers to do a better job. As regards the internet, connection, especially at this time. Okay, we could have started this show way earlier than this. The internet has been really, really poor this past couple of hours, and everything is just generally poor in terms of service in this part of the world. Okay, but we'll move on for that from that, and we get on with our conversation. We've got about there about 7 to 10 minutes to go, and let's just talk some more. Okay, in terms of talk about some possible solutions. Like I said, you can always use this as an opportunity to create drama. And well, while you're going to be doing this, you're going to need to get your affidavit straight, because you are going to disappear at this time. Yeah. You're going to want to disappear. You want to vanish, and you want to do um, possibly spend more time doing things for yourself, that is focusing on yourself. And definitely she's going to be angry. She's going to throw a fit and wonder where you have run off to, especially at this time when you should be expressing your undying love for her. It's going to make her angry, which is why I say you have to get your affidavit straight. You could use work and tell her that you had some work to do, some unavoidable work to attend to. Definitely she's going to be angry, but what you're going to do is, like I said, I'm not a dating coach, but I'm just making my own my own suggestions. And as I stated at the beginning, if you're scared of rocking the boat, maybe this solution isn't quite for you. You are going to use this as an opportunity to create some drama. She's going to be wondering where really, when you should have been with her, taking her on the date and doing all of that, things that you expected to do, but now you're doing things that you're not expected to be doing. That is, you are being unavailable, especially at this time. So she's going to, at the back of her mind, even though on the surface she's very, very angry at you for you know not doing the needful, at the back of her mind she's going to be wondering if there's another person, um, if there's another lady in the picture. Okay, she's not going to really, really believe your affidavit, no matter how plausible it is, no matter how true it is. Definitely there's going to be some doubts at the back of her mind, and this is what you want. This is what makes her really, really interested. This is what spikes up her interest. Okay, she's definitely going to be thinking about the possibility of someone else in the picture. And well, you can use this to your advantage if you know how to play your cards right. Okay, which means you're not going to be apologetic. You're not going to be unnecessarily apologetic. And if she decides to, well, threaten you with you know, uh, threatening like calling off the relationship, or using some, being unavailable herself, you are definitely going to have to, um, you know, sit back and wait. I know this is quite difficult. That is why I say if you are not versed and you are not experienced in doing things like this, you're not, you're afraid of rocking the boat in your relationship. This might be a very, very, uh, should I say, um, an advice you don't really, a solution or an advice you really want to really implement. So which brings me to number two, and this is solution number two is you can let's have plan the whole thing. Okay, that is the whole outing, the whole, you know, the date, the whole day. Okay, let her take you out, let her treat you to a wonderful time. But the thing about this solution as well is one thing, one thing you need to know, or one thing we should know as guys is if you're dating a girl, you're not just dating her, you're dating her and her friends. Okay, you might not be intimate with her friends, but in the background, she's taking advice, from her friends. She's, planning the whole relationship. That is your relationship with her, with her friends. Okay, everything that's going on between you guys, she's definitely going to be sharing with her close friends and seeking out advice on how to move forward, in various cases. Okay, so it's you against a crew. Okay, it's you against the clique, it's you um against the ladies. Okay, so we guys, we don't tend to talk about our relationships with our friends that much, although we do, share one or two things, but not as much as ladies. Okay, whatever steps that she's taking, definitely you need to know that you know she has sat down with her friends to plan it out and to implement it. Okay, so that is something you should be very aware of if you aren't already. That is why I say, letting her plan the whole thing as well might not really, really, um, she might be discouraged to do that by her friends. Okay, they're gonna be like, oh, you should let the man lead. It's the duty of the man to lead, to plan the relationship, to lead you, to take you out. No, he's not man enough if he's letting you plan the relationship. And the truth is, guys, we guys, of course, we gobble up this as well. Okay, we believe that it's the duty of a man to lead, to plan all of these things, which is very, very true. However, you should also realize that when it comes to wedding, okay, guess who plans the wedding? It's the lady. Okay, it's the lady who plans the wedding because she has already been planning this wedding, or she's already been planning her perfect wedding. She already has the image of her perfect wedding from as later as 11. Okay, she has been, planning that big day, how it's going to happen. She has been, putting together the details. So definitely, when it's about to get down, when she's about to get married, when the time comes for her to do this, you definitely will see most of her ideas being implemented because it's her wedding. Okay, you're just gonna show up, okay, in your suit, but um, she's going to want to play a big role in how things go. That's what I'm trying to say. So when they are having this consensus that you should be the leading man, taking her on dates on Valentine's Day, doing all those things. During that period, they expect you to lead, but when it comes to the wedding, no, they're not going to let you do. Yes, you're definitely going to have your say, depending on the kind of guy you are. But you should also bear it in mind that the lady is going to want to play a very big role in that occasion as well. But the Valentine's Day um, date, an experience that might probably lead to the wedding, she expects you to plan that. Okay, she expects you to lead. Her friends expect you to lead. Okay, so which brings you back to square one, where you would have to take her out and do all those things that are expected of you, which makes you very predictable, which makes the whole affair predictable over time, especially considering the fact that she has been doing this over and over and over and over every year. So to her, there's nothing new anymore in it. Okay, there's nothing new. The novelty is really, really not so much um, as it was when she was younger. So definitely, I know that some guys will still want to go ahead with it. Okay, some guys will still want to go ahead with it, take their girl out. But the thing is, no matter what you do as well, every girl wants to feel special, and when there's other people doing the same thing as well, it tends to become, you know what I mean? Okay, it tends to become, it tends to lose it tends to lose its meaning over time, especially when it's that repetitive. Um, and it's something that you have to do every year. So as a guy, you definitely want to go ahead with it. Some guys will want to go ahead with it. Some guys will want to let her plan the whole thing. If possible, some will just use that opportunity to create drama. But if you want to go out with it, what I would advise you to do, and this advice should be taken seriously, especially this part, is whatever girl you want to be intimate with or get involved with or go into a relationship with, you should be asking yourself, does this girl deserve to be in my world? Okay, and that is the question I ask myself. um Starting to move away from the question of does this girl deserve to be with me, but rather does this girl deserve to be in my world? Okay, does she deserve to be in my world? But the thing about that is most guys or many guys out there don't have a world of their own that they're building. Okay, they don't have that world of their own that they're building where they can be leaders in their own world. They can be kings in their own world. They make the rules in their own world. Okay, growing up, growing up as little boys, we had our own world. For example, as a little boy, perhaps you had a tree house, or you had your own space, your own world where you went into you went into to while away time, to spend time, to let's say you had a tree house full of Lego toys and all sort of toys where you just when you wanted to disappear, you just went into that world to live your fantasy, and you didn't just bring anybody into that world. Okay, even if you were going to bring a girl into that world, it was going to be a girl who had showed interest in you, perhaps in the playground, perhaps at school, and both of you couldn't get enough of each other. You didn't just bring any girl into that world, you brought somebody who you really, really thought was deserving of that space of yours as a little boy. But growing up as men, we tend to lose that ability that we had as little boys to create our own world where we are kings, where we are leaders, where we are men. And instead, we decide to go into the world that has already been created for us by society and played by society's rules, rather than building our own worlds and playing by our rules and establishing our domain, and over time our influence. We over time we expand our influence to the outside world and expand our territory from within our worlds into the outside world. Not every guy today has the ability to do that, but the thing is, every guy has the ability to do that, because as a boy we always had the ability to do that, but as went on we forgot about it. Okay, we um left it behind, let me put it that way. Okay, so that is, we left the tendency of ours to build our worlds, and we left um no we we let it go to waste, and we instead decided to go into the world. So, but it's never too late. Okay, you can always start building your worlds. A lot of men have their own man caves. Okay, where they just go to spend time. You don't just bring any kind of girl into your man cave. You always ask that question: does this girl deserve to be in my world? Okay, because your world will be an extension of yourself. So rather than asking, does this girl deserve to be with me, which is also a valid question, but like I said, you should be building your own world that you you know you just the same way a girl plans a wedding from as little as 11, 10, and has been putting together the details, is how you as a man should have been building your world as a teenager and expanding your territory over time. Okay, so you ask the question as time goes on. Of course, you also ask other valid questions as well. But this question is very, very important. And not only very, very important, it is also important for you to know that if you're going to be, um, going out on Valentine's Day to celebrate and to experience, I mean, well, to experience the day and the essence of it, you would want to really, really think outside the box. Okay, I mean, yeah, it's very, 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 that is, if you're willing to go through with it. Okay, I personally would just, at the point in time, you start to see beyond these things, and the truth is, once you're able to see beyond it, there's no going back. That is the bitter truth about the red pill. Okay, it's bitter. Once you start to see past all those things, you don't want to go back to it. You don't want to. Okay, you start to, no matter how bitter the truth is, you just definitely, it's like believing in Santa Claus all over again. I mean, come on, you tend to grow up sometime. That's just it. Okay, even truth is, the ladies as well, the thing is, it's for them, it's a damned if you don't and damned if you do situation for them. If they don't go through with it, what are they going to tell their friends when they ask? Okay, so they have to put up some appearances, even though they've been doing this over time. It's now boring, it's too predictable. The guy seems to be doing the same thing, sending them the same kinds of chocolates, telling them how much they love, um they love her, and all of these things become wary of it over time. Too much of everything, like they say, is just, well, that's just my thoughts on it. Okay, it's definitely worth thinking about if you're still planning on doing one or two things with your spouse. Like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, well, won't take it too serious. Although there's some elements of truth that should be considered, I also would want you generally to just have a good time, have fun, okay, and live life, experience life, and do things on your terms. That is, as a guy, you do things that you really want to do. Okay, if you don't want to do it, you shouldn't have to force yourself. If you force yourself, you definitely they're going to see past your efforts, and they're going to see that your efforts are not as genuine as you want it to come across. And you know, uh, personally, what would I do? I would use it as an opportunity to create drama. Yeah, I might definitely mix it up a bit. I think that would be a very, very good approach. Sometime during the process, the experience, you slip in some drama. The point is, you should be able to walk the boat. You should be able to do things that are not so predictable and not so safe and eventually boring. Okay, so those are my thoughts on the whole process, the whole experience, of Valentine's Day and what have you. Uh, what we're going to be doing now is we're going to go for one last music break, listen to this song, and of course, when we come back from this, we already fast. Our time is already fast spent, so we're going to be wrapping this episode of Blend. I can't believe this is a three-part series, but like I said, the internet today has proven to be very, very stubborn. Well, there's always another episode of Blend, and as I like to say, we'll definitely work with these challenges that life tends to throw our way and find a way to navigate our challenges and make the most out of them. Okay, so this song you're gonna be listening to before we wrap up for this episode of Blend is titled Nitwit. Enjoy this one. We'll be back after this music break. Welcome back from that quick music break. The song you listened to was titled Nitwit. I hope you enjoyed that song as well as every other thing that we have experienced and immersed ourselves in on this episode of Blend. This has been Blend episode 19. I've had a wonderful time talking and interacting with you and sharing this sharing my thoughts and uh hearing from you as well. I want to say thank you for listening. This is how far we're going to be taking this episode of Blend. I hope you've learned one or two things. I hope you've enjoyed yourself and you're looking forward to Blend episode 20, which we'll be having next week. Okay. Once again, I want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of our family here on your number one electronic music station in God knows where. And if you love what we do here and you want to be part of our family and you're wondering how can you do that, okay, so you can simply do that by subscribing, hitting that subscribe button and making use of the live chat box to share your thoughts during our broadcast, the comment section if you're listening via the archives. Okay, so you can always be part of our conversation. And after subscribing, also make sure that you turn on the live notification bell, right next to the subscribe button so that you get our notifications when we go live for our broadcast. As I always like to say, we tend to be very, very, very flexible with our schedule. And with our schedule, for now, okay, until in the nearest future where we have um 24 hours power supply, stable power supply and stable internet connection. Okay, these are things that are not too difficult to implement, but in this parts of the world, well, uh things just doesn't work the way you'd expect them to. So, like I always say, we have to make do what we have and, do the most with the little that we have. And that is what we do here on your number one electronic music station in God knows where. My name is Lázougi. I've been your host for the past 1 hour. I've enjoyed myself. I've, had a wonderful time chilling with you and listening to electronic music, immersing myself in this, wonderful sonic vibes that you are listening to as well. And I'm looking forward to spending time with you next week for Blend episode 20. So, take care of yourself. Next week, of course, is going to be, the the big day for a lot of people, but I'm going to be here. I'm, going back to work, in preparation for that as well. So, I'm looking forward to that. Keep your fingers crossed. We're going to be talking and having our conversations as always. Okay, we're also going to be listening to electronic music and yeah, we will be having a wonderful time as we tend to do on your number one electronic music station in God knows where. So till then, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your week. If you're going to go through with your Valentine's Day plans, definitely find a way not to be too predictable. Work the boat more in your relationships. Don't be that safe, boring, unchallenging guy or the lady as well. Okay, uh, variety they say is the spice of life. So you definitely want to put some pepper. Yes, pepper. Put pepper in that relationship. Put pepper. I'm out of here, okay? I'm done. My name is Lázougi. Take care of yourself. God bless you, and I'll see you next week for Blend episode 20. This has been Blend episode 19. Go on your number one electronic music station in God knows where. God bless you. See you next week. Bye bye.
electronic music station in God knows where.